We are starting late today because, once again, the Hasbro Marvel Legends team decided to do a fan stream on Friday. I've told them a million times I've got work to do, but that's okay, New toys to talk about, so I'm not going to complain because I'm Robo. This here's the rewind. Let's start off yet another episode with this blood-sucking bastard. First, we got a super close-up of a Mezco 1/12 Collective Nosferatu. At that time, we didn't have any details. It was just like, hey, this is on the way. The only thing we could see was that there were more details to the eyeballs. Then last week, we got a video tease with a slight flash, a glimmer of the figure itself to hype up 1/12 day. That was on January 12th. Sunday rolled around and that's really the only thing that happened. The pre-orders opened for the Mezco 1/12 Collective Nosferatu 1922 Black and White Edition. And we were mostly right. The sculpt and all the accessories are what we saw with the previous releases. All the heads and the lamps and the hats and the coffin came with either the original Silent Screamers or the later Symphony of Horror. The only differences is obviously the grayscale paint. Then there's those scary eyeballs with a realistic flair to them. And then the clothing. This time around, the coat isn't as tattered at the sleeves and at the bottom. And then the pants aren't form-fitting. They're not tights, they're pants. They come down over the shoes now instead of going down into them. And to top it all off, it's now waitlisted. I don't know how long the pre-orders were open because what was I doing Sunday? I think I was doing something else and I came along. And then I thought I saw it in, and then maybe, I don't know. It's a Mezco exclusive, it's cool looking, so it was gonna go. I ended up passing, but I will admit the color scheme and those eyeballs nearly got me, but I'm gonna be pretty happy with the first version that I have. I'm pretty happy. I'm gonna stick with that. I'm not gonna jump on the wait list and see if it converts later down the line. Nope. Sticking with that theme, NECA has posted up a teaser for their The Howling werewolf. Y'all know me, I have never been into the scary movie scene, but I know the looks, I know where they come from, and this is just one of those iconic takes on a classic creature. But seeing this reminded me finally to go back to the Syndicate Collectibles Howling werewolf and kind of give it a side-by-side. That one's thinner and a bit softer, but it does seem to have most of the same articulation points, all the way down to the several layers in the neck. So yeah, what it's gonna come down to is which one you like more. It's up to you. Your preferences, your price point. All these creatures need to be kept in line, so that segues beautifully into the Fresh Monkey Fiction Big Bad Workshop Operation Monster Force 2025 Convention exclusive Phantom Corps Commander Van Helsing. Like most other Monster Force figures, there's a lot of reuse going on here, with parts and pieces pulled from other figures. Really, you can achieve this same look with a Van Helsing and then the upcoming Phantom Corps Special Operations Detachment Trooper. Sure, it's not perfect, the boots don't match, I think those are pulled from the Delta Reds, and then the camo color and pattern's been changed up slightly, but it's that same feeling, it's that same idea. I also don't know all the accessories by heart, but I'm gonna say I'm 89.73% sure that most of these come from other characters. The only piece that I know is new, and even there, I'm gonna say 98.2% sure, because I hate making definitive statements at this point. But I don't remember ever seeing that Lieutenant Ravenhead before. I'm throwing all that out there because, again, this is a convention exclusive, and they're not gonna have physical copies at those cons. The way this works is you attend one of these shows in 2025. Oh, hey, Toylanta, I'm gonna be there. How about you come up and see me sometime? Next step, find the crew at that show, their booth, walking around, whatever. 3, you give them your email address and they add the pre-order for this Van Helsing to your Big Bad Toy Store account. I'm okay with that for the most part because I travel light. I do not check bags. I wanna grab my carry-on, get the hell out of the airport. Go, gone. I don't want any chance of, what? Where's my stuff? It's not around? Just go to the show, I put in my pre-order, I come home, I sit back, I wait. Just like I'll be waiting for this month's Medicom MAFEX Marvel Black Panther Erik Killmonger pre-order. I couldn't think of a better transition from monsters to Marvel, so that's what you get. Sorry. This is all we have to go on for the moment. An announcement and this picture, but I can already tell I'm gonna like this better than the Marvel Legends version I have on the shelf right now. Mostly because of that goldish cat print on the costume. It's more prominent and I like that. Plus I absolutely love the MAFEX T'Challa Black Panther figure. They nailed Boseman's proportions with that. So I need this to go with that. The Michael B. Jordan likeness, it's not great, but I have my Black Panther masked. I'll do the same here. So gimme. Like I said, this is all we have at the moment. They usually put up pre-orders for 2 different figures a month. I'm sure they'll show the other picture before this video goes live on YouTube. And then it'll be like, hey, you missed this. Well, we'll come back around next week because I'm sure they're gonna show something else and then more pictures for this. And I wanna see more. Staying within that same universe, as I said earlier, the Hasbro Marvel Legends team had a fan stream about 10-20 minutes ago as I'm recording this. But before getting to all that goodness, let's talk about the pre-order that got away yesterday, at least for me. They had been saying all week that the Savage Land Professor X was going up for pre-order exclusively on Target Thursday morning. Now, given the history, I thought, if I get up early and run in there, there's not gonna be a pre-order. They're gonna wait all day, if they do it that day. So maybe I'll sleep in. But it's also an X-Men character, so I set my alarm. Then I proceeded to stay up too late Wednesday. So when my alarm went off, it was like swipe, roll over. So by the time I did get up, the pre-orders were sold out. My own damn fault. Yeah, well, I say, pre-orders should be open a little longer than a couple of hours, but at the same time, it's also another Professor X. I just got 3 of the Walmart Warlord Xaviers, so I'm kind of good on that front, but I also like this look. It won't break my heart but I still want it. Thankfully, it seems that Target's a little better than Walmart about putting the figures on the pegs when they release. So I do have that going for me. Target exclusives. Which leads us into the fan stream from this morning. It did start out with some technical difficulties. It was posted as a full video in VR format. So it was kind of weird looking. I don't have a VR headset, but it had a little control up top where I was moving around and going, oh, look at that, look, and then they pulled the video down. Apparently this pissed a few of you off, but if you find yourself mad because you're not looking at toys exactly at 10 a.m. on a Friday, then might I suggest a different hobby? Like staring at wall or nap? Because within 20 minutes of the original scheduled time, we were all peering at pretty pictures of plastic playthings. It was perfectly fine. Now this is all gonna be off the cuff. Like I said, I'm running from the fan stream out here to record the rewind. So I'm looking at pictures as we go, and man, right off the bat, X Factor, Marvel Girl, X Factor Jean, they could have stopped there and I would have been perfectly happy, but that's just me. They even did what I asked, last week, week before last? They gave us 2 heads, one with the skull cap and the hair sticking out the back, the other with the mask and the full hair just free flowing in the wind. Remember, I prefer the later X Factor costumes, but I got nothing against the first ones. If they're gonna start building that team, bring them on. I do have to point out that they did miss the yellow boots on the figure. It's shown right there on the card beside, and then on a lot of the other covers. I was so excited at first that I thought, it's perfect, it's great, gimme. But now that I'm looking at the pictures, I want more of the TK effects too. There's other characters that have that power that need it on the forehead, removable. Put it on, like say, I don't know, Outback Psylocke, Armored Betsy. I'm already wish listing. We got more than a few great figures revealed today, and I'm already, hey, what's next? But Target exclusive. You can bet your bottom dollar that I'm gonna get up to my alarm that day. I'm okay with missing out on Professor X or leaving it to chance, leaving it to fate, but this one, I need, even if I do have to paint the boots. Next up was the only movie figure. It is the Spider-Man No Way Home Electro, and they had teased this. They had said, hey, we have more of this crew to make, And then we had the Entertainment Earth little blurb that something shocking or jolt or was coming. And at that time, I thought, well, okay, are we gonna run into the same problem that we did with Garfield or Doc Ock, where they have to make an older version or pack it a weird way? Nope. We got exactly, well, I got exactly what I wanted from this figure. They did make sure to point out that the electric effect over the face is not removable. And that may play into some kind of likeness rights or something, or a way around that kind of thing. Either way, we got it. I can complete that display for the most part. Then they hit us with a new line within Marvel Legends called Maximum, who's gonna start out with 90s Spider-Man. The idea is that it's gonna be maximum articulation, maximum accessories, maximum deco. Or at least that's the condensed version. That's the Robo version of what they said for a good long time. It has a lot of the articulation points they've been working up to through the years with various Spider-Mans, taking the good of this and the good of that and the good here and then just mixing it all together. Even has a lower neck joint, so the neck moves, the head moves on top of that, double joint dumbbell. It's got some crazy poses in the pictures. That's all I saw. That's all I cared about. I was like, okay, yeah, talk. Look at that. Not that there was anybody in my office, but I was just like, hey, other figures, look at that. If I had one gripe, I would like to see the blue a little lighter. But at the same time, if they have this body, they gotta reuse it in other places later, right? This is the maximum version, and then re-release it or reuse the body somewhere else down the line with less accessories and all that. Different Spider-Mans, different web patterns, different heads, different eye layouts. I mean, it even has bare forearms and hands that have the web shooters on them. And then an unmasked head, another Spidey head with the eyes slightly more. The spider sense effect. This just seems to be the be-all, end-all version of Spider-Man. Not to mention, my gear's already turning about them saying, hey, there's gonna be more figures in the Maximum line, and who they could do. Maybe Captain America with added articulation points and a full shield? Oh, feels like it's been a little bit since I've gotten a Captain America with an intact shield. Daredevil, upgrade to a more bulkier body with all the articulation. And I'm gonna keep saying that, all the articulation, because that's what I think of when I think Maximum. The list goes on and on. You know the price point is gonna be higher, but if it's like every few months one comes out and it's the definitive version, okay. The picture on the back of the package is probably one of the first poses I'm gonna try out, because look at Then they went into ROM. I'm not a super ROM fan, but I understand the importance of this figure coming out. And I know there's a lot of happy collectors out there, so this one's for you, baby. Oh, I'll still get it. I'll display it. I'll probably put it by Crystar because it's kind of in that same category in my head for my own personal space, where I remember those characters from like ads of other comics, in other comics, but I didn't actually read those comics with those characters. It's just a good looking figure. Plus this starts the wave of other characters that come with little mini comic covers. Now, this is cool. It's not really needed. It's just a neat little add-in. It's a way to tie the wave together because all the card backs have different looks to them. If you had thrown them out, it would have just been like, what goes together here? Is this coming with that? Is that? I think the tiny little plastic comic cover is what makes this a wave. It makes it a series. It makes it a line. Because next was Dakin, and ROM is new to Marvel Legends completely, but I feel like a lot of these other characters in the wave are redos of old figures that do not hold up anymore. And this is one of those. Plus it adds to the Dark Avengers that they seem to be sprinkling into assortments here and there. It's essentially tall Wolverine with tattoos on the arm and a claw around on the other side, which always kind of freaked me out because coming out of here, oh, that's the part of your body. Well, there's lots of parts of your body you don't want to see injured too bad, but man, right there is one of those spots where, oh. But that's one of the visual cues, along with an unmasked head with a mohawk. That's probably how I'll display it. Next up was Adam Warlock, and we saw the tease for the staff, and I kind of knew the staff would go with this costume, but I was kind of hoping to see the more classic version of Adam Warlock. You know, with the shorts and the skin showing. But I'm not gonna complain about this because as far as iconic looks go, this one's right up there with the other one. This was the Infinity Gauntlet look. Plus they could give him the gauntlet. So now we have a regular size. Well, okay, did the first version that looked like this come with that? But, that was a terrible figure. Terrible figure. Cape seems a little constricting around the neck. I had to throw a nitpick out there. I had to throw a negative. Because then we get to Ultimate's Iron Man and, again, this is so much better than the original figure, but I just never liked this look. It's very boxy, it's very clunky looking. I guess I can kind of see the aerodynamicness of the head and why is it, but at the same time, it strays, and I understand that's the whole point of Ultimates. It's a neat figure. In fact, I may have an idea as far as customs goes. I really, really like the Ultimate Miles Spider-Man though. It's on a better body, and that mask, the eyes, it has a bit more attitude to it. I was gonna say sinister because that's what I think of when I think of the narrow eyes, but no, it looks so good. This pose, oh, killed it. This is a big selling point when it comes to Spider-Man figures. Then there's Banshee, classic giant size X-Men Banshee. There's another wish list item just checked off. Now I kind of wish, well, they said it was coming, right? I mean, and we knew it was coming. All the parts were there. But I did buy an extra of that 3-pack that has the blue and yellow costume. Was gonna paint it up or Vision body, the old, but here we are. I don't have to do that anymore. All I have to do is sit and wait. Wait for this, come home. The 3-pack figure is a little large and it seems like it's just been repainted here, so, but still, it's a good looking Cassidy, it's a good looking Banshee, be on the shelf. They had said that they were gonna do some team building or finishing off team, and I had my sights set on some other things, but hey, I'm good with this too. Even better, it's mainline releases, so pre-orders will go up 1st of February. And then for teas, both Dwight and Dan had tiny little weights, dumbbells, and I have no clue who that could be. No clue. I don't know. I would have thought She-Hulk because for some reason that's, wait, Fantastic Four She-Hulk maybe? No, why? Regular Jennifer would be the one to come with the weights. Yeah, I have no idea. But those kind of teases are a little more fun because it's not just like Adam Warlock's staff. As soon as I saw that, I was like, oh, Adam Warlock. What's next? Well, okay, the excitement of, hey, now show us the figure. And then we saw the figure, and now we get to pre-order it here in a couple weeks. And then, but this, I have no idea, no clue. And that's all I got for this week. It was looking a bit thin up until midweek. And then they announced the Legends stream, and I thought, okay, yeah, good to go, good to go. As always, special thanks to the Patreon, the No-Bots. I wouldn't be able to do this without them. I'm gonna keep mentioning this up until the time of the show, but again, I will be at Toylanta wandering around. I think I am gonna have a space, but I'm gonna be free to be out on the floor because it is kind of split into Toylanta and then a PowerCon offshoot. I'll be over in the PowerCon part, but I figure it's gonna be back and forth all over the place. Last week I threw out the idea of putting bloopers of me recording the rewind, but I don't know if it was the run straight out here, I gotta get this done, I'm running late and stuff. I just flew right through this. It was pretty much but I will point out that, yeah, there is a tiny, well, okay, not a tiny, there's a pink spot right on Grievous's nose right here. I think the first time I wore it on the rewind, I did some painting that night, and it was like some apple barrel, it was some cheapy Walmart paint, and I splashed or something, and it went right here, and I went to, and it hasn't come off. Most of that paint just wipes right off action figures, but you get it on fabric, or, well, this print, and it's there forever. That's all I got. Y'all enjoy the rest of your weekend. Have fun, be safe. I'll see you next week. We'll have more toys to talk about. or even more toys, because they're toys, but even more. Bye.